Hello everyone, Richard here at Calvin Wazoo, bringing you another video. Happy New Year. And this new year is starting off with several vinyl tags. And there are three in particular I am going to be doing videos for. This is the first one that I've got everything pulled out to do, and that's for Rob Walker's channel, his vinyl tag 2022. So I'll have a link to his channel in the Down Under, and you can go to his channel. I'm not going to list all the questions, but you can go to his channel to find the questions if you want to do your own. But here we go. Let's get going because there are a lot of questions and I don't want this video to turn out to be too long. So the first question is to show your favorite album purchase in 2021. And clearly my favorite purchase is this Mdou Moctar, A Freak Victim. Amazing story behind Mdou Moctar and how he learned to play guitar in, a small city in Niger, Africa. Amazing. I've seen him live. He was the first live show I've seen since the pandemic. Just absolutely amazing. And I will go out on a limb. Typically, I've always had Jimi Hendrix as my number one guitar player in the popular music realm. He's number two now because in my book, Mdou Moctar is number one. Just absolutely incredible guitar playing. All right, moving on to the first live show that I ever saw. Well, probably is easy to figure out that the first live show I ever saw was Frank Zappa. And it was in 1974, which was at the time of the release of Apostrophe. So it was an apostrophe-heavy show. Apostrophe was released in March of 1974, and I saw Frank on April 28th, 1974, at then Ferris State College in Big Rapids, Michigan. That is now known as Ferris State University. All right, next one, a duo album. Not one that I got in 2021, but it's probably one of my favorite duo albums. It's also a really good live album, and that is Loggins and Messina on Stage. Just really enjoy this. It's a great recording and a great show, great songs. Really like it. Then we go to an album that is still in the shrink. And that one I have is this. It's an anime score to the anime series Cowboy Bebop. Remains unopened in the shrink. I bought 3 copies of this. One of them I have that I play for myself. I gave one of them away. And then this one I'm keeping in the shrink and holding on to. Might sell it someday. Nice colored vinyl too. It's like the Swordfish and Redtail edition. So we've got, one of the records is red, and then the other one, like the Redtail spaceship, and then the Swordfish ship is the like a lavender sort of color. Purple, perhaps, is better. All right, next one is a concept album. And not a 2021 purchase, but I thought it would be a good one because not many people show releases by this musical artist. And this is Blue Neighborhood by Troye Sivan, who is an Australian singer, songwriter, kind of in the what I classify as the white boy R&B genre. But it's a concept album in which he is examining a same-sex love affair, possibly fictional, part real, when he was younger, you know, in his late teens. It's a double album. 3 of the 4 sides are specifically relating to the song, or excuse me, the theme of Blue Neighborhood. The 4th side is not so much, you know, bound by that theme. Okay, so album I haven't played yet. So it would be this one, by The Residents, Eskimo Deconstructed. So I have the release of Eskimo, which is just an absolutely brilliant anthropological, fictional, musical kind of piece. It's difficult to describe. And that's a single album, but this is a double album in which they break down all the various soundtracks, you know, into individual bits. So many of the songs are very short. I opened it to ensure that it was not warped and or damaged, but I haven't played it. So, you know, I don't know. I'm holding on to it. Maybe I'll keep it. Maybe I'll offer it for sale someday. Maybe I'll offer it as VCLT. All right, next one is an artist or band discovery made in 2021. Well, I've done a lot of videos about this band and artist, and so it probably comes as no surprise that I'm showing Car Seat Headrest. This is their most recent release, which is Making a Door Less Open. Nice colored vinyl. In fact, I have tickets to see them for 2 shows. The first show here in Chicago sold out, and then they offered a second show, and I got tickets for both shows. And for you Car Seat Headrest fans out there in my audience, this is the last one for me to review. I've gone through the catalog already for the most part, and this will be the next one I'll be doing pretty soon, so patience, patience. All right, next one is a live album. And this, you know, is one, again, trying to stick mostly with purchases with the different questions that I made in 2021. And so I'm going to go with this one, Frank Zappa. It's a box set, but it's the Zappa 88, The Last U.S. Show. So it is I believe it's the complete show at the, oh, I forget. It's a Coliseum or something in, gosh, but it was in Long Island. So I'm not sure, Nassau Coliseum, something like that. But yeah, it's the greatest band you never heard, so to speak. So this was the last U.S. show before Frank and the group went to do the European segment of the tour, where things famously started to fall apart, so that when they were to return to finish the U.S. portion of the tour, Frank just canceled it because of all the problems and bickering and backstabbing that was going on between the musicians. I did a video about that. There's also a very interesting book about that, and that documents that tour and what happened during the tour. But anyway, that's the the live album, Zappa 88. All right, next one, an album from a different continent. And I've talked about this fellow before, and this one is, all right, is Shin Hyung, the psychedelic rock sound of South Korea's Shin Hyung. So this album is distributed by a U.S. distributor, but it is a South Korean recording that was then pressed for Light in the Attic Records. As I said, I did a video about this, very famous. He was not just a guitar player, but he basically created psychedelic and launched psychedelic music in South Korea. And he also became a very famous producer, artist producer, record producer. But he did get thrown in prison during the South Korean dictatorship because he would not kowtow, so to speak, to the government, the dictatorship government at that time. And so, yeah, he went to prison on a kind of a bogus marijuana charge. All right, so my records are sliding and falling over. Okay, next one is, where are we? Oh, okay, an album with the price sticker. So this was a little tough because when I get an album that actually has the price sticker on the album cover itself and not on the shrink or something like that, I try to remove them as best I can. And but what I went with instead was this. This is my OG copy of The Mothers of Invention, Uncle Meat. Now, there is a price sticker here, but this was added by a later vendor who was selling it for $80. I did not pay $80 for this. I paid much less. But it does have the original hype sticker stuck right on the album cover. So, you know, that's my one. See, it's on the Bizarre label. So, Uncle Meat with the original sticker on the cover. Next one is a punk or new wave record. Well, again, another artist that people don't always talk about, I decided to show, is this one, Wall of Voodoo. And this is Call of the West. This was released in, 1982, and which actually is another category question. But yeah, I remember when I was listening to this, I was in Tucson, Arizona. Very, very cool album, very quirky. Their song, Mexican Radio, was actually an FM radio hit. All right, next one is a box set. And I went with Bob Dylan Live, 1975. A great box set. This is when he was doing the Rolling Thunder Review Tour. Joan Baez appears on, some of them. It's a great recording, great tour. One of the reasons that I bought this is one of the times that I saw Bob Dylan was when I was living in Tucson at the time, and it was 1978, I think. It might have been 1977 when I saw him, either fall, winter of 77, or it was in 1978. Anyway, while it wasn't the same Rolling Thunder Review, it was a very similar type of show. Listening to this, the set lists and et cetera, and the basic sound of the band was very similar to what I saw at that time. So that's my live recording or box set, excuse me. All right, an album with a sporting theme. And I went through pretty much every, I went through every single record that I own, and I do not have Queen's A Day at the Races. I do not have, I've been thinking about this guy all the time, and now I can't remember what his bloody name is. But it's probably one that, a lot of people think of and show. But I don't have it. So I went to a CD, and I didn't have these albums on CD either. But I went with Blur and Park Life, dog racing, which is kind of the theme, on this, which has the very cool hit Girls and Boys, which was also a big dance hit in at least the gay bars that I went to at the time. Great song. Okay, what's next? A jazz album, one that I did buy in 2021. There were a couple, but chose this one. This is Sonny Clark, My Conception. So we've got Donald Byrd, Hank Mobley, Paul Chambers, and Art Blakey. It's one of the Tone Poet series. really, really great sounding record. And not just sonically, but the music is just really amazing. Very good. It actually wasn't for Tone Poet series. You know, it was less than $30 when I bought it. But, you know, amazing package, amazing cover, everything. All right, next one we've got here is a best of album. So I went with this one. This is one of my favorite best of albums, and that is the Hollies' Greatest Hits. Now, there are several iterations of greatest hits or best of for the Hollies, and also there are different song track listings for this, even for this one. But this is the one, this is on the Epic label. See here, but just, it's not only got great songs on it, but the sequence of the songs is just absolutely amazing. I mean, we start off with Bus Stop, then Carrie Ann, Dear Eloise. I mean, I remember listening to this when, you know, I was when I was in my tweens, probably. Just loved these songs. Look Through Any Window, Stop, 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 Long Cool Woman in a Black Dress, Long Dark Road, Just One Look, King Midas in Reverse, Pay You Back with Interest, On a Carousel, and then the classic He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother. So yeah, a wonderful greatest hits record. All right, now next one, an album with at least 8 people on the cover. So I'm gonna go with this Eric Clapton. All right, we got just Eric Clapton on the front, but then on the back we've got all these other people. You know, when it is the cover, it's just the back cover. It's a great recording because you've got people like Bobby Keys, Bobby Whitlock, Leon Russell, Jim Gordon on the fantastic Jim Gordon on drums, Bonnie Bramlett, Delaney Bramlett, you know, just a lot of people involved in this. Great songs like Slunky, Bad Boy, Told You for the Last Time, After Midnight, Easy Now, Blues Power, Bottle of Red Wine, Loving You, Loving Me, Lonesome and a Long Way from Home, Don't Know Why, Let It Rain. Just what a great album. Man, has he turned into kind of a bit of a flake lately. Just my opinion. All right, so that's going to be the one for cover with at least 8 people. Now, next one is a soundtrack. All right, and I got 2 records for this because, you know, when most people think of a soundtrack, and they even get called soundtracks, they're thinking of the movie score, which is the music that was in the film. But the soundtrack, that's the track along the film that has all the sound. So it's not just music, it's the dialogue, it's the sound effects. All right, that's what the soundtrack is. So, so I got 2. This is a pure soundtrack. I have a couple of these from an anime series, Gundam, which is a mecha anime series that was one of the biggest top grossing mecha anime series of all time worldwide. It's just absolutely amazingly successful franchise. And this is a true soundtrack because when you're playing it, it's a lot of it is just dialogue, the character's dialogue that goes with the anime. And it's in mono on the King record label. I love this stuff. This is it's called Gundam Very Last Shooting. And so yes, big fan of that. But then I also picked one that is a score, a soundtrack that is a score of just the music. And again, it's an anime, one of my favorite animes, and that is Princess Mononoke. So just absolutely fabulous, beautiful records because they really have some great artwork that goes with them, in which I would show. But it is, I mean, like, check that label, you know, and then the other label is shows the other main character. excellent. But yeah, the artwork that comes with because they often include a lot of the different artwork from the anime, just beautiful, beautiful stuff. So that's what I have for a soundtrack. Now, VCLT received. All right, I have not ever received any VCLT from someone in the vinyl community. I've sent a little bit, one or two, records, but I have received records, gifts from, of people that I know who are not technically in the VCLT. And one that I received, and I believe it was this year, is the band Failure. The record is Comfort. They're kind of a noise rock band, a little punkish, something like that. Good record. I really, really like this. If you haven't listened to, and this isn't even their best or most highly rated release, but you don't see them very often. I don't see them very often in record stores. In fact, I haven't seen any at all in any record stores that I've been in. But yeah, so that would be my VCLT that I received. All right, an album cover sans text of any type. Well, there really are only a few that I can think of, which I'm sure everybody else, is showing. There's King Crimson's In the Court of the Crimson King, which has absolutely no writing at all on the outside, though it does on the inside of the cover. Then there's the Led Zeppelin 4, which has no writing on the outside of the cover, no writing or text on the inside of the cover. Another one in that area that probably a lot of people show is this one, Led Zeppelin also, Houses of the Holy. Nothing on the front, nothing on the back, nothing on the spine, and nothing on the inside. So, but I'm trying also to, show things that I'm thinking that not many other people will show. And I thought, well, this kind of counts. It's got some text on the spine, but on the cover itself, no. Outside cover anyway, and that's Grateful Dead Europe 72. We've got that image on the front. And let me quickly pull out should have pulled these out first, because it's a triple record set. Okay, so we've got, this on the front and, this on the back. Very little text on the inside of the cover. So, but I thought I would show that as one. All right, moving along. A 7-inch single. Okay, where did I put it? Here it is. All right. And it's another Grateful Dead. All right. Cumberland Blues and Brown-Eyed Woman, or Women, I should say. So Brown-Eyed Women was recorded live at the Auditorium Theater in Chicago on May 13th, 1977. And then Cumberland Blues was recorded also at the Auditorium Theater on October 22nd, 1971. That's the B-side. I got this by going to a Cubs game, hence the, Wrigley Field, and you've got the ivy from there. They had a special giveaway that, you buy a ticket to a Cubs game in a particular area of seating, and then you get this free record. So that's what I did, and enjoyed the game too. It was a great game. The Cubs won, and there was a grand slam. I think there were 2 grand slam home runs. I mean, it was a pretty exciting game. So that's my 7-inch single. All right, down to the final 2 questions. Colored vinyl. And this is, while this record was released, much earlier, this is a new reissue from 2021. I'm pretty sure it's 2021. And it's from the Japanese math rock band Toe. All right, and it's called For Long Tomorrow, and it's this beautiful cream and sort of olive green colored vinyl. Really excellent record too. I have 2 copies of this record. The other one is kind of a smoky colored vinyl, but this one I pulled out because it's pretty sure this is a 2021 reissue. And now we're at the last question, an album from 1982. And that one that I have selected is Captain Beefheart. All right, Ice Cream for Crow. One of, I should have looked this up, if this was the last album that he did, or it's one of the final albums. And it is a excellent album. One of his finest in the Magic Band, one of their finest releases, both in terms of song composition and everything. It's just really, it's on the Epic label. This one is, I don't know if it's an OG copy. It's Epic Virgin. So anyway, that's my one for an album from 1982, Captain Beefheart and his Magic Band, Ice Cream for Crow. So there you go. Those are my records for Rob Walker's vinyl tag for 2021, 2022, whatever. And I hope you enjoyed that. I did mention that I'll have a couple links in the Down Under, in particular one going to Rob Walker's video so you can see the list of questions. And I hope you enjoyed that. Please subscribe if you haven't. Like the video, it helps. And remember to pray for the people inside your head, for they won't be there when you're dead.